Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching NewsMakerLive right here on DBS Television with me, Timothy Polion. Once again, we're going up until 10 o'clock this evening, at which time we'll be having the clip that peaked, and we're hoping also to establish contact with Jenna and Gaston, who is at the CSA Center. We hope to have the results of the election of officers which took place today. Voting commenced at 8 o'clock in the morning and concluded at 5 o'clock. So the voting process got underway over the last few hours, and we're hoping to have the results for you before we conclude this evening's NewsMaker Live broadcast. My guest is Mr. Herman-Gil Francis. Was in opposition, any political party, remember the St. Lucia Liberal Party was in opposition between 2006 and 2011, was very critical of the Stevenson King regime when it came to all other things. Crime topped that list. Now the SLP is in office. The United Workers' Party is returning the favor, criticizing it for crime and saying that it is mishandling its response to this bugbear. How does the United Workers' Party, in the event that you become National Security, Minister of Home Affairs, plan to deal with the serious crime problem you're experiencing right now in St. Lucia?
Okay. What I can say, Tim, is that crime should never be politicized. That's one of the biggest mistakes that we make. That we should never politicize crime, and I will never do that. The police force is the arm of the government that is mandated to deal with crime. And like I said earlier, what you need to do is to make sure that you give the police the necessary tools and training necessary to be able to deal with crime. You have the ballistic experts, you need the handwriting experts. And I say handwriting experts because sometimes we just look at crime and we figure, well, it's just the assaults, the housebreaking, the rapes, the murders and so on. But there's a lot of white-collar crime too. And for you to be able to solve white-collar crime, you need police officers who have the expertise in finance. They need to be able to do handwriting experts and so on.
And we don't have that right now.
And we don't have that. So my thing, it will take a little time, but my function or my aim is to make sure that at the end of a couple of years that we have all those persons in place that they can handle this other crimes. As long as you start solving crime, Tim, crime will go down. The fact that criminals believe that they're not going to be caught, they have this belief that I'm not going to be caught, they commit crime. But as long as you start to solve certain matters, you will see a reduction in crime. And like I said, we must never politicize crime.
And now this is being done. I mean, by all the political parties in the run-up to all general elections, because I think a level of desperation would normally set in. If a political party believes that the handling of crime is the Achilles heel of any administration, then it will take advantage of that. I mean, do not tell me that the United Workers' Party, if it sees this as an advantage towards winning the next general election, that it will not use it.
But Tim, it shouldn't be an advantage or a disadvantage. Because that's what I'm saying. You're going to make all these bold statements and bold pronouncements that you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And at the end of the day, when you get the crime spirals, how are you? What is the excuse? So I'm not going to be doing these other things at all. I'm going to tell you how I intend to deal with it. and that is by making the police force a little more accountable, making them a better trained police force, and that is what my function is. As soon as we have given them the tools, then they must respond.
No, the tools now. You're not the Minister of Finance.
Yeah.
And various ministers will tell you that they have a great difficulty, whether it's Dr. Kenny Anthony as Minister of Finance or Stevenson King as Minister of Finance. They do not believe that they're getting the kind of financial support, I mean, to really and truly address issues in their respective ministries. Because it's a case where each minister is looking forward to getting, you know, some significant level of support from the finance minister. And the finance minister himself would have his own challenges. And the logical question is, where will the finances come from to deal with those issues and to properly equip the Royal St. Lucia Police Force?
I agree with him that finance is not readily available. But if you listen to some of the European Union, they were here, and they said that they were willing to assist us. The Americans have always assisted us. The British have always assisted us. The French have assisted us. We now, as a government, need to be able to prioritize and decide, well, hello, this is what we need. A safe country and safe environment will bring in development. Persons, and up to today, I was speaking to a lady who wanted to come to St. Lucia, but she was saying that she was hearing that there was a crime problem in St. Lucia. And I told her, no, I mean, that is not so. St. Lucia has crime, but it's no more than other islands, okay? And I was guaranteeing her that she can come to St. Lucia and have a good time. And at the end of the day, I was able to convince her, so that I suspect that is one guest that we're going to have later on. There is a VAT there. We don't know what the VAT is being used to pay, the 15%. We're not too sure whether 5% goes to health. We don't know if 5% goes to security, and so on. What the government needs to do is to decide, well, okay, this is what we're doing with the VAT, but we are going to allocate 3% to national security, 5% to universal health care, and those sort of things. When people see that, you know, persons are getting a little more, they want to have a little more faith in the government. But we need to be able to spend the money that is necessary to safeguard our citizens and our visitors. There's nothing that about you don't have the money. We have to find it, you know. And I'm telling you that a lot of the overseas agencies are willing to assist us. So we need to tap in that. But we need to show them that we have the commitment to do it.
How would you describe the crime situation right now in St. Lucia?
I think it's bad. It is bad. And I think the police are doing the best that they can in the circumstances. You hear sometimes police officers making arrests for murders and capturing some people for housebreaking and so on. So they're trying their best. They're trying their best. But they are not properly equipped. They're not. You know, look at the vulnerable persons team. You know, the commissioner has tried by putting 3 more persons there. But that's not going to work. It will not work. These police officers have to have the training so that when they are interviewing victims, that by the line of questioning, they don't further victimize that victim. And that training is not there. You know, if you ask a police officer how many forms of attack that a rapist would think, they wouldn't know, you know, because we don't have that training. Okay, I mean, when I did the FBI, how many years ago we were trained in that, you know, and I'm willing, if the commissioner would allow me to sometimes come and lecture to the police officers on those sort of things. I'm willing to do these sort of things. I don't have to be a minister to play my role in getting this country safer. And that's one thing I'm always going to preach, that our politics must be a politics of inclusion. The Labour Party may have a team of men and women, but at the end of the day, you do not have somebody who is suited for a particular post. Then you should be able to look at the opposition or the general public and decide whether that person supports the Labour Party or not. But because of his expertise, that you should be able to incorporate that person as a minister. One of the most successful ministers in the Labour Party there now is Dr. Jimmy Fletcher. I mean, this gentleman is doing a fantastic job. He's not a politician. You understand? He's never gone for political elections. But because of his expertise, because of his love, I think, for the country, he is doing a fantastic job. So we need to be able to look at that. So even if a UWP were to win elections, and I think that we're going to win. And at the end of the day, there is somebody that is better placed than me to be Minister of Home Affairs. I would step aside and just assist that person.
Should the United Workers' Party administration
win?
Should the United Workers' Party administration decide to go for the likes of Dr. Fletcher to give him a ministerial position in that administration?
I would welcome something like that, because I mean, listen to Dr. Fletcher. Dr. Fletcher is a superb minister. I mean, he's not only recognized and respected in St. Lucia, he's respected worldwide. You know, and we don't have the freedom to just choose who we want, because we need to use the best talents and brains that we have in the country. And he's one of them. You know, so I'm making that plea for him, because it can be done for other persons. Okay? There are a lot of things that I can see politicians doing, like the Prime Minister being Minister of Finance, and the Prime Minister doesn't know anything about finance. You know, and he still is the Minister of Finance. We need to go the way of the countries like Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, okay, where a Minister of Finance is a professional, somebody who understands finance, financial matters. So at the end of the day, we cannot remain in the way we do in politics there.
You're watching NewsMakerLive right here on DBS television. Let's take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Please stay with us.